Hello, sorry. Yeah, what's up? Good. We can do whatever. Let me turn on my light. Alright. Yes, I believe you can do something like that. Give me 1 sec. I am going to the bathroom. Hold on 1 second. I am on my way. I'm coming back. Did you start streaming? Okay. All right. So how do we share video? You want me to share video somewhere? Okay. Give me 1 second. I have to do that probably. So you have to do that in a direct call, I would assume. Right? My face? Probably not. Bottom left video. Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
I don't know exactly how it works, so shoot, okay, I knew I just did this earlier, so this video capture.
I should take a look to see what these teams are that are playing. Do some research.
Yeah.
Phoenix Rising Esports fits. Fancy Flightless Fowl. Okay, so one's like a. I think I remember these division like being like kind of like contested.
Yeah, I think it was close. I think it's a display caption. Wow, no. This is not not display capture. Holy crap. Oh, I literally just had this before, and I'm messing up all the streams going. Oh, it was window capture. Okay, okay. Okay, here we go. I have got it now. Probably shouldn't have done this as soon as... I probably shouldn't have started the stream yet, but let me get some type of counter for everyone. Right, then I can size it down. Oh no, fuck. Shoot. There we go. Okay, I think that is good. So,
Should I go to the stream? Hold on. What is it? You posted the stream. Hold on.
yeah.
Should probably have that up anyways. Oh, yep, I see me there.
You do? Okay. I'm gonna switch back to the start.
I'm assuming that's on a delay. Oh, that's soda, by the way. No. What I'm drinking is soda. Obviously. Oh, the pie maker is on. Okay, I know him. And then the other one's fancy Flightless Fowl. I don't know it. Okay, I've heard the name Bullet Knight, but that's it. I do know pie maker. Okay. Sounds good. I started. There's this game that my friend had me play. It's called First Class Passenger or something like that. What is it called? First Class Trouble. It's like an Among Us type game. Except it's like first person or third person, I should say, but not like top down. Yeah, probably because I would assume most people haven't heard of it. People cannot hear us now, right? Cool. What team do you play for? Is that with? That's not with Vayne, right? Or is it? That's the other one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
So sorted. All right. I mean, I'm
No,
pretty sure
home
PRA's
team.
home team.
Home team gets to decide, I believe.
Yeah, home team gets it. So it should
Yeah.
be PRA. So rep gets.
All right, we'll take first pick then.
Wait. You get coin flip. Hold on a minute.
Oh wait. That's
Wait a minute.
Heads, I guess.
I can do it. I got you, baby. Right? It is tails. So, joke's on you. We're gonna go map pick, so you get your first pick, fam.
All right, sure, sounds good.
I believe we banned first since we won.
Yeah.
Okay, so first ban for us will be D-Shire.
All right, I'll ban BOE.
Nice. Hold on. Yeah, we will ban Braxis. What the hell with Braxis?
Yeah, for sure. We'll ban Alterac.
Are you banned my fun maps? We are going to curse then.
All right, sounds good. You gonna
Alright.
make?
Yes, I will make I will make it. I will send the link on NGS at 10 o'clock.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thanks.
Take it easy.
Let me hop on HOTS. Whatever you want, man. I mean, we could also do a direct call. I think sometimes people do that. I can join them, I think. Yep. Yes, I can join them because I technically have to cast their tag. Yep, all of them. Oh, okay. There's not that many people on, I think, tonight anyway, so it's not like that. Yep.
Oh, no, it didn't work. Okay, shoot.
Probably should introduce me, right?
Oh,
And then introduce you.
turn on your video again.
1 second.
Because the thing kind of just exploded. Hello,
I'm gonna.
I don't know how many people are here right now, but we just did coin flip, and we are attempting to get everything sorted out. Oh no, you're. Ah, okay, there we go. I think that looks good on stream.
Oh, I'm not there.
It should update. A few secs. I think that's good. It's showing up on Mailwave, so I think it's okay right now. But yeah, I think it should be good random.
Oh, there it is.
All right, awesome. So, we have a couple minutes here before the draft starts. So I'm Grim Paladin, and I'm joined here with my co-caster Random Task.
Greetings, sir.
Greetings indeed. And we have quite a game here tonight, quite a match. We have Phoenix Rising Esports versus Fancy Flightless Fowl. These teams have played once before, and Fancy Flightless FFF. I'm just gonna call them FFF. I can't do that whole name.
Fancy Flightless Fowl.
They went 2-1 against Phoenix Rising Esports. I think a couple of weeks ago. So we're gonna see if they can come back and maybe swing it in their favor, or if Fancy Flightless Fowl will have the remaining title.
We will see indeed. I guess that's why they play the game.
it do be that way.
Yes.
So right now we are currently just waiting for a lobby link type thing. I'm gonna put on the map view. So Fancy Flightless Fowl had the map pick, and they chose Cursed Hollow, and you can see the bands below. So Random Task, what do you know about Cursed Hollow?
There are very specific things that you want to do on the map, right? It's not like the generic infernal fight over the point. Whoever wins that projector or punisher or whatever wins. There's so many different strategies. Not so many, but there's a few ways you can approach the map. There's the bosses, which are very important. There's a boss on each side. Fighting over the boss is key. You can win by never going for the objective if you wanted to. By split pushing, by doing other things, you know?
Yeah. Really fast. Are you in the NGS chat?
Yes, I am.
I think the lobby link is posted.
Curse. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
So
continue.
we're gonna look for
that.
we're gonna look. So I think what we're gonna do here is we're gonna look for things that control the boss. We're gonna look for globals because they are able to split push and gain soak when they're not doing stuff. We're gonna look for things that stall, and we're gonna look for things that grab mercs and push. That's what I'm looking for. I think straight up fighting in general is probably not the ideal approach. You want something that controls the point, like with totality. Like something like a Tyrael Holy Ground.
Spicy.
You just steal it. The May is really good here. With the ice wall, you can go like a Zeratul or Diablo with kind of that AoE control. You have the Falstad. I would be surprised if, even though I know you can't use the W with level 1, but Falstad is still really good on this map just because Gust can secure the boss very easily.
That's true, yeah. Like on Cursed Hollow, because it's that 3-lane map, really, really huge. It's, all the lanes need to be soaked pretty much, or else you're gonna fall behind. If you invest too much in team fighting and they stall out and they stall you out on the curse tribute or whatever, and you lose a lot of experience, right? I mean, experience is the name of the game, especially with these 3-lane maps. And like you said, there's bosses, there's bruiser camps, there's siege camps, and we often see those being picked up and utilized very nicely.
Yeah. So interestingly, someone told me how to approach this map is that he's analyzed a bunch of these games, right? And there's like 3 consistent things that he sees in pro games. If you have 2 of them and the other team doesn't, they've always won in every single ACC/CCL game. There's boss control. Yeah, that's pretty different. Boss control, globals, murking. That's what you look for.
Dang, okay. So yeah, it's boss control. Like this is one of the few maps in the game that does have 2 bosses, which is.
I think this is by far most important boss control map. I've actually done this myself. You can win straight up by just fighting over bosses and winning, right?
Yeah. And yeah, okay, yeah, definitely with that globals. We see lots of globals contested on this map. Fall said, like you said,
Globals.
Brightwing is really popular. Daka sometimes gets some love.
Hollow.
With that,
Yeah.
actually, we have just entered the draft, so I'm gonna switch the screen to the draft screen so you guys can check and see what is going on.
Now, I would also expect someone like Hugger, obviously busted, but to be extremely more important on something. I'd say like this is probably like Hugger's second best map. Maybe like Garden. So like Infernal's probably his best. This is up there, like top 3.
Right. We do see the Uther band coming out here. You know, classic stuff. Uther's pretty meta right now. Really strong. Chromie as well, really strong. Great zone control.
Yeah, probably maybe a targetish ban. Like I said, we'll see. This is probably one of Chromie's worst maps. Not worst. She's never bad, but like, I feel like this is one where you'd be like, okay, maybe I don't need Chromie. There's a Brightwing.
There's the Brightwing band, yeah. The global presence with the blink heal, or the phase shift, I mean, is really powerful. Yeah, Chromie, since her temporal flux range got nerfed, has been seeing a little bit less play. A Div band that might be targeted as well. You know, good for denying burst composition, so we might see the side of Fancy Flightless Fowls go into some type of Varian Diablo-esque where they just pick a target and blow it up.
Okay. There's a Hogger right away. So,
There is the Hog.
yeah, does all the camps, does the boss. You know, always good, in my opinion.
See
And
the Tychus counter though is the. Oh, sorry to cut you off there. Please continue.
no, that was it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, with the Tychus is the kind of meta quote unquote counter, but definitely
don't think-
have to go into it.
I just think that you can't afford to pick Tygus here. Yeah, you're gonna fall. Anduin is a very interesting pick this early. I don't know why there must be something that they have going on that they want that pick early.
That's true. Yeah, it's a little bit unusual to see the Anduin picked early like this. The Falstad makes sense. You know, you wanna secure him early, get the global win. There's only Dahaka left, so see the
Yeah,
Malfurion
and
picked up here.
with all the they so you just ban Diva here, right? I think if you're
Wow, yeah, it's interesting. They go a double bruiser here. I mean, like
I
you,
would
like
do-
you said,
totally
the
do that.
bruiser control.
I would do it. I would do it. And I would ban Diva.
Diva ban, we might see that coming out here. Abathur actually gets banned. That's interesting.
No, that makes sense. I'm saying this Phoenix Rising is gonna ban Diva, maybe. We'll see.
With the double bruisers, though, we might see lots of camp control. You know, especially that's really important on this map.
Yeah, and I like Sonya is like a damage like at this point, so it's like whatever. And obviously Hogger has lots of utility with the camps and whatnot. That's a May. Okay,
Maybe.
that's a reasonable ban too.
Really
Like I
powerful
said,
right now.
powerful, and like I said, the ice wall is going to be super. Oh my lord.
Oh my goodness. Random, we are in for a treat tonight, let me tell you. Cho'Gall? I don't think I've ever seen a Cho'Gall game in NGS so far.
That is true. I don't understand. So to be fair, I do know Cho'Gall's early games like a lot better than it used to be from some of the changes. Cho'Gall and Cursed? Okay, this is the response that I expected. And Uberak's gonna be really good into the Cho'Gall.
Cocoon, and then Kirk's bullet from Greymane to chunk his health when he pops out.
So the thing is, I don't like. I mean, Greymane's fine for the map. I would have actually liked something that like wrecks the backline a little bit more. Great guard. There's a double support. Double support Cho'Gall.
Yeah, I mean, Anduin isn't
All
a
set.
strong enough solo support to help Cho'Gall. I'm curious to see if Fancy Flightless Fowl have run this comp before, and if it's just something that they practiced and they know by heart. Because it seems kind of random coming from, like, the observer perspective, right? Just Anduin, Rhaegar, Cho'Gall, right?
Like, if my money is that, like, if I objectively look at these comps, I would have to favor Phoenix Rising, and not just because I see Cho'Gall bad, but like I look at their side, they got the murking like really hard, like,
Mhm.
and they got pushing. Sonya pushes really hard. Greymane pushes really hard, and Uberak also pushes really hard with the Beatles. I don't see how Cho'Gall is going to respond to that push. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
I,
And
I
and this is
oh
one
yeah,
of
keep
those
going.
maps where like you open up a win condition and like you have to respond to it constantly, and like I don't see how Cho'Gall is going to handle that.
All right,
We'll
so
see.
really fast, we have Fancy Flightless Fowls on the red team here. We have the V-Steps coming out on Cho'Gall. We have Alfie on Gall, Cho on Gingy Boy on Cho. Rhaegar is Herbatronic. Blood Knight is Falstad, and Final Stand is Anduin. Do you want to call out the names for Phoenix Rising Esports?
Phoenix Rising Esports. We have Eraganos on Anubarak, Reb on Greymane, Carp Diem on Malfurion, AOE Rules on Sonya, and the Pie Maker on Hogger.
Awesome. So we see some interesting rotations coming out right now. The side of Fancy Flightless Fowls is going just straight mid, but we see this excellent rotation here, utilizing the Nubrak Beetles to just take out the bottom tower. Falstad makes a flight in here to respond, but that damage is going to come out pretty permanently without too much cost.
Yep.
One thing I did want to say about the draft, though, is that Rhaegar is one of the supports you don't see very often because his healing output is kind of low. But the thing that he has instead, and we see a kill onto Final Stand coming out here, excellent stun root combo.
Oh,
Two
man,
kills, actually, wow. And they were just going for it. I was going to say that Rhaegar, his place in the meta is that he has the camp clear and the wave clear, as he's one of the strongest supports that can do that right now. But I don't know, it might not really work out here. PR Esports can just kind of push in one wave like this. Like, that's already first wall now. It's 1 minute.
Oh, okay. We got the Anduin save. Yeah, and the thing about the Rhaegar is that there's like this massive power creep of like denying huge burst heals too. I think it's like part of it, and like we've gotten to a point where the utility of his kit is just like not sufficient enough compared to the others, is what I feel like.
Oh, I just think like that. They picked up a kill bot lane on Falstad.
It looked like mid.
Oh, mid, sorry, yeah. Sonya got
Yeah.
the kill on Falstad. So we see, one of the things I was really worried about with Cho'Gall was Malfurion has Emerald Dream, so if he lands that root, it is a guarantee to sleep for 2 seconds on top of that too. So we have so much CC that can be landed here on Cho'Gall really early on here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I hate that ability so much. There's so many games I've run into, and I'm just like, oh, I get rooted, and then I'm just like, normally I'd be like, oh, I can get out, but I get slept and died.
Yeah, they're going for the really strong team play here. I mean, in the other side of the map, we see Falstad capping the siege camp. We see Sonya going after these bruisers over here before the trib. I mean, random task. What can Fancy Flightless Fowl do here to kind of reclaim the game? In your opinion? Do they look for team fights more? Do they just go for map pressure?
I really have a hard time figuring out what they. It's one thing to go Cho'Gall. It's another thing to go Cho'Gall double support on a map that requires you to constantly split and gain macro advantages somewhere.
Yeah,
I
like,
think like it would probably be okay. It'd probably be okay if it was just like a support and a Cho'Gall, and then they have two like offlaner-ish type characters, and the Cho'Gall and the support split push in one lane. But like the Rhaegar is going to get really pushed out by either the Hogger or the Sonya.
Yeah,
so,
as you mentioned that the Rhaegar is trying his best to cap this bruiser camp using all of his mana and health to do that. And you know, it's just, you know, Sonya does that so much faster. Hogger does that so much faster.
yeah.
Right, you see this push
Greymane could do it fast too if he wanted to.
That's true, yeah. And in the top lane, Right, like Rhaegar had to leave his lane, deal with the bruiser to take the bruiser camp, and Hogger's putting a lot of pressure top. He has that lane all to himself.
There's almost 3 walls pushed down already. Actually.
That's true. Yeah, the side of PR Esports, they have the wave clear, they have the push going on. Let's see if maybe Fancy Fowl is just waiting for level 10 or something like that. Maybe they get a decent power spike. We see no teams actually going after this turret right now. There's kind of just more contention versus mid lane here.
So, I was thinking about this. The way I can see FFF coming back into this game is Cho'Gall hits his power. I don't really know what Cho'Gall's power spike is at this point anymore, because I know it's a little different. But hits his power spike, they need to contest the other team's boss and win over here, assuming that they don't lose too much in the other lanes.
Rhaegar might be going down here. Oh, actually, Hogger might be going down here from the double support combo. Both just barely get out alive here.
Greymane's finishing. Greymane's just rushing mid forward right now.
That's, yeah, they don't even care about the tribute. They're just saying, hey, we can push, we can pressure mid, we have better siege, we have better sieging. They're,
Sonya's getting bot, too.
Oh my goodness, yeah, look at that. Uncontested, Sonya pushing bot.
They got it, but at what cost? Like,
the trib even goes. Actually, I don't know who got the trib. I think Fancy.
I think Flightless Fowls did, but the Phoenix Rising Esports must have gotten another one at some point.
Right. Oh, there's the lead comes in. Where died and just absolutely lead. There's no chance of surviving there, even if you get the E off.
Yeah, and what you're gonna see later is you're gonna see Cho'Gall cocooned. And you're gonna see the backline dove on right away.
And it looks like the side of Phoenix Rising Esports is going to go and try to grab this boss here. 6-minute
Oh.
boss.
They already have level 10 at the boss. Boss spawn only spawns at 5 minutes, right?
I think so, yeah. And yeah, it looks like Phoenix Rising Esports are just gonna, use their 10, grab the boss, and then just give curse, right? You don't even give the tribute. It's only each team only has 1 right now. Why get a cap when you can just get a boss for free? Both teams do have level 10 now, so we'll see if Flightless Fowls can do something here with that.
Greymane's in a little bit of trouble. Cocoon here. Oh.
The cocoon goes on to Rhaegar, actually.
Oh. I'm not sure.
Comes out. It's not a lockdown. Cho'Gall is beating onto Sony here. Sony actually falls.
That must have been a little miscommunication right there,
Yeah,
because
they had
the Rhaegar. They had. I think they were about to kill the Rhaegar, and he cocooned him.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure there with the cocoon targeting, because the Rhaegar seemed like he was out of spells at that point, and then as soon as Rhaegar got cocooned, Cho'Gall just went back in and he started dishing out damage, and he was able to pick up that Sonya kill. So we'll see.
Good play.
Oh yeah, sorry, continue.
We'll see if this Cho'Gall does work.
Gather tribute.
That's what I'm basically saying.
The terms are simple.
So, the boss got about half the wall on the bot. The mid fort's almost gone. Top lane's being pushed in. I don't know. You know what? They were if I was Phoenix Rising Esports, I would have rushed their boss.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think they have more of that pressure. I think if Phoenix Rising Esports is gonna win these team fights, they have to cocoon the Cho'Gall and just go onto the back. They have the lead engage. They can't just let Cho'Gall do this to their back. Like all the ultimates are up here. Red is really
Okay, they're going right at.
now.
Yep.
Yeah, now we see the purple. Now we see the dive in from Brack into Hogger. Raven actually falls. Falls to jumping in a Malfurion here. Malfurion's gonna fall as well, and honestly, this looks like a lost fight for They don't have enough damage here, and they're just gonna get run down here. Excellent gank by the Blood Knight playing false deck.
Yeah.
He knew exactly to go on Malfurion after that cocoon.
And that's unfortunately one of the problems with running Malfurion. He's a little squishy, and he doesn't have very much burst heal.
Yeah, actually see Hogger is going to fall here in the bot lane too. Gonna get body blocked against the wall. Wow. This, we were wondering how Fancy Flightless Fowl gets back in this game, and I think this is how they do it, right? As soon as the cocoon dive fails, right, when they don't get enough kills from that, then Cho'Gall can respawn out of the cocoon and start wrecking havoc. Let's talk about that.
The one thing I'll say is that these lanes are really far pushed back, so they got the bot for it, but that's about it so far.
That's true. Rhaegar's trying to push the top here, doing his best. False side is clear mid. Looks like Fancy Flightless Fowl is rotating up top, probably to do their boss right now.
Like I said,
oh yeah.
like I said, I would have liked to see Phoenix Rising Esports I would have liked to see them just give it, get the boss. They probably could have every fort right now, and still have 2 of their forts after the boss. After they got cursed, the other team.
Right, I agree. Yeah, it's the lead is still technically over to Phoenix Rising Esports. They do have a boss pushing against them, so hopefully they can defend that here. But it's still relatively even. It's 14-15, half a level difference. If they take control of these team fights better, then I think they still have a chance.
Yeah, I just think that like I said, if you're FFF, you just keep trying to force these 5-on-5 fights. Phoenix Rising Esports needs to never take a 5-on-5 fight. Keep finding value on the map, split pushing when they can. You know, that's how I feel like they need to win into the fights, you know,
right,
into their team.
They do have that dominant macro pressure that we saw in the early game. We actually see a cocoon coming out on the Cho'Gall right here. Ping's going out, trying to secure this. Also flies in with the gust though, so kind of disables it. Engage on Falstad, engage on Anduin. Falstad falls, Anduin falls. The cost of Malfurion also falls here. It is a 4v Cho'Gall and Rhaegar right here. Let's see who will take control here. The dive goes out onto Rhaegar here. Self and Central comes out, just able to keep himself alive. Double stun though coming out, and Rhaegar does fall. Phoenix Rising Esports chasing down the Cho'Gall. He does disengage with an R here. I don't know if they'll get the chase.
No, I wouldn't bother chasing a Cho'Gall. They did a much better job, I think, securing a couple more kills during that isolation from Cho'Gall. They found him very separated from the rest of the team, so they were able to cocoon and go in and dive the rest of the team. So that was good engage.
Yeah, definitely an excellent engagement by Phoenix Rising Esports. They were able to do exactly what they wanted: cocoon the Cho'Gall and go on that backline and just delete that double stun. Falstad just immediately deleted, Rhaegar deleted, and then Anduin got picked off early on too, I think. So they're able to secure that bottom boss and the tributes.
If I were them, I would do one of 2 things. I would push immediately with his boss, or I would go directly to their bruiser and like shove the mid lane in. But I think they're gonna go with the first one. Is what I said.
Yeah, it looks like they're just gonna go for the safe boss push here. So, are there any other interesting heroics that you see from these teams that'll play an impactful fight on this boss right here?
That are out of the usual?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Interesting ones.
I mean, you should go for 3rd. You don't see that too much. That's what I'll say.
That is true. Yeah, against the Cho'Gall, normally you would take the first one.
But like, I'm actually a fan of isolating Cho'Gall and going after the backline, because I think what happens too much is people see Cho'Gall and they're like, I need to take all the % damage. What happens is that people don't lock down Cho'Gall and he just runs away, and then you're like, oh man, I wish I could kill someone else instead. With the way they're doing it, they're like saying like, screw the Cho'Gall, just kill everyone else. I actually tend to like those strategies a lot. Oh!
And here we see the lead into the Cocoon goes on to Anduin here. Rhaegar does fall though, Falstad is low as well. Falstad does fall here. And Pure One is trying to chase him down. Anduin gets stunned by the Nubrek, double stun, Greymane dive, and I think that wraps about it. 3 for nothing here on the side of Phoenix Rising Esports.
How much you cap this curse? But yeah, Sonya's done too.
It looks like Sonya here is going to get this curse for free from the side of Phoenix Rising Esports. And they're just going to siege away with their excellent siege potential.
So I think the thing that I think is that the isolate Cho'Gall and kill the backline always works at any level, no matter how strong Cho'Gall is. Whereas the kill Cho'Gall comps work up to a certain point.
Blue team has destroyed.
The Cho'Gall gets all these like dumb abilities later, would make them, you know, kind of survive a lot later.
And I think they've been executing that strategy pretty perfectly. They had a little mishaps in the start, but they were able to do that these past few fights and just look where it's got them. They've got Curse, they've got 2 keeps, bottom and mid. They disengaged smartly here, I think. They grabbed the Bruiser camp as well, but yeah, Phoenix Rising Esports looking pretty dominant right now in this first series.
Yeah, and like 1 keep is like whatever, maybe false second push up, but 2 keeps I think is kind of the big changer of like being able to have FFF be split enough where you can force these favorable fights that they've been able to take. And I think like you've noticed, if Cho'Gall's even slightly too far, you just cocoon and you just go after the backline and they can't do much. That's what happened. I mean, I think in the last fight they didn't even isolate the Cho'Gall, they just dove the other people.
That's true, yeah, we're gonna see another possible engage here over this boss before it's 1 here. It looks like Nubrak actually gets caught out here. He probably did not. Oh, that must have been a team communication error because I think the rest of PR Esports wanted to wait for 20, but Nubrak was trying to dive there. So that's a very unfortunate mistake that happened. And to the side of Fancy Flightless Fowl is going to get this boss for free now.
Yeah, and I think he also uses E to engage there, so that was unfortunate. He has reset. Oh, they don't have 20 yet. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they have 20.
Now they have 20. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna reliably get like mistakes like that to win fights on the side of Fancy Flightless Fowls. What do you think they need to do in order to start winning fights?
They need a YOLO. They need a YOLO, and so they need to make sure they're not too split off. They need a YOLO at a boss or something like that. Mm-hmm. They're gonna need to hope that Phoenix Rising Esports doesn't make a mistake fighting over something that they shouldn't. The bot lane has the full wall for Phoenix Rising. Top lane is a full wall, so as much as a boss would help, I don't know that it would secure a win is what they were looking for. The issue is that if they go for a boss and try to push with it, and Phoenix Rising Esports backdoors, they'll lose, right?
That's true, yeah. If they can prevent somehow from getting their backline dove here, and it looks like they're trying to catch them out here. They're bush tacticking right now. No teams actually spot each other right now, which is really interesting.
And yeah, if I'm Phoenix Rising Esports, I try to split up off the map, have that Nubrak try to catch vision of everyone, and just like look for pressure on the map. Oh, there's a boss up, so this is where I think Phoenix Rising Esports. Oh, gee.
Awesome Falset here, carrying Crater coming out as well. Leap of Faith able to save Falset here really fast. Sonya does fall, Hogger's pulling through the backline. Hogger does fall actually. Anduin's trying to dive, but that's 4v1 right now. Greymane just falls.
Yeah, and that's exactly the fight that FFF wanted to take.
That's amazing. I think the key part there was Sonya leaping in, right, to try to hit Shogun and the fall stack, but Anduin was so far back and he's playing it very safe that he was able to utilize Leap of Faith to immediately save his life. So then the engage was only on Shogun, and that was the exact thing that Fancy Flightless Fowl want. They want them focusing on that Shogun. We saw there that everyone on the side of Phoenix Rising Esports went on the Shogun. No one went on the back line, right? And that's going to be a lost keep, and they've got Mosh.
That's game. That's game.
Looks like game, honestly.
That's unfortunate. I think Phoenix Rising Esports made a big mistake there trying to fight over that boss. And not only that, they kind of fought him straight up, which is once again something that...
There's the Leap of Faith again. It's very interesting that at, you know, the Leap combo, which was working so well earlier on, you know, once Anduin finally didn't get dove on, and Anduin was safe in the backline, he just saves any of his allies that get that aren't Cho'Gall that get Dovon.
Yeah, and so the thing is like if they had just threatened backdoor, I don't think they can't go for that boss, right? So if they had gone for the boss and then their team just backdoored with between Sonya and Greymane, that's way more than enough damage. Where if they don't back fast enough, they lose. They lose the game.
Right. I agree with you there. Maybe if you put like a Hogger or even a Nubarak because he's got the
Oh,
unstoppable
that's true.
burrow.
Like they could just stall. They could stall. They could stall the backs. Actually, that's one thing they could probably do is have Sonya and Greymane, and maybe Malfurion, it's kind of just like sitting in a bush somewhere and waiting to see whether the other team kind of does the boss,
Mhm.
and then if they do, you just have a Nubrak like cocoon the Gaul and just like stall them indefinitely. Um, I really think that if you're and I think I can understand the temptation of like wanting to think that you need to fight there, but I just think you don't fight. You don't fight, period. There, you don't fight ever. But you know,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I think they could have fought there, but I think they put too many of their resources on the Cho'Gall. Like the leap went out, the Anubarak dive went out, the
yeah, that's true.
roots
I
went
mean,
out, all on the Anubarak, and then Falstad, Rhaegar, and Anduin are like, all right, let's fight. I'm alive now.
I'm also surprised at the crater. I'm not sure how much I really like the crater. Um, for one, you're giving up the 75% armor, which is kind of a big deal when it comes to like leaping in and then just like not dying right away. Um, because I think most times, like if you get the leap, like you're trying to kill really quickly, anyways. I'm not sure that you always need the crater. The other thing is, like you said, that maybe the one thing I'll say is I think the Sonya engaged a little ahead of themselves before the rest of the team could actually like find anyone. I think she should have backed up a little bit, kind of disengaged and waited for another engage. Because I don't think, like I said, I don't think um FFF can like take that boss and assume that they like won't get dove on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Uh, shit. I was trying to put on the caster screen, but it's bugging out right now, so I'm just gonna switch to the map lobby. Um, yeah, I mean, they Phoenix Rising Esports was winning that entire time. It was just that last fight, it's so unfortunate to see, just that last misplay over the boss is gonna spell the end for them. I mean, I agree. There's lots of possible plays, like you could have backdoor there, um, but I think the real meat of it is that they had trouble in the early game focusing down Fancy Flightless Fowl's backline, and they kind of spent too much resources on Cho'Gall, and I guess they just weren't on the same page with it that last fight, and just all went for Cho'Gall. Like they specifically, they picked to go for the throat, right, instead of Curse Bullet. So your options for bursting Cho'Gall are a lot more limited now, and you're kind of all in on just killing their backline, and they just in that last fight they didn't execute that plan.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to know your win condition, and I think that sometimes it's very easy to get carried away, just like saying we need a fight here. But sometimes you don't you don't take a fight unless you find it extremely favorable, and when you're in a position where they have zero keeps. They have one keep, sorry. They had one keep left. They had two lanes pushing in hard. Their clear isn't great because they have double support. And like it's not like they're gonna go in and like end immediately because you still have the wall up, right?
Yeah, they still have the wall and the
They
keep
still have the
up,
wall
right?
up, and they still. I think the keep is one thing. Like that boss can push in and just tear that up, and then they end right away. But with the wall up, there's like no threat, and like I think you just need to be really patient. I think even if the Sonya had just like backed up right away, and then they just like backed up and waited to see if they didn't boss or not, the macro pressure would eventually end them. You know.
Yeah,
And
it's
yeah, and
it's
Eric
unfortunate.
Forever here is yes, I agree that Basically, any fight that they have, they should never be focusing Cho'Gall right away. Never. And I think he actually tried to get the false dead, but the problem was that the Anduin pulled him out. Oh, that's it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's not. The screen isn't.
Oh.
I'm trying to pick up the Discord thing, and it's OBS is just kind of griefing me right now. Maybe display capture. Nope, that's definitely not it.
Okay, looks like we're going to Infernal Shrines now.
Okay, I'll try to fix that later. But yeah, so we're headed to Infernal Shrines. Do we know who picked this map?
No.
Or- I'm just gonna ask in the lobby chat. Oh, Fancy Flightless Fowls did.
Okay, so Phoenix Rising took first pick.
Yes. So I will go ahead and update that. They're going to Infernal Shrines, Fancy Flightless Fowls. Alright, there we go. So we're going to switch right into draft here coming up. Alright, so we have a 1-0 lead with Fancy Flightless Fowls. They picked the map Infernal Shrines, and Phoenix Rising Esports has their first pick and first ban. So, random task, tell me what is Infernal Shrines? What are these teams trying to do here?
There's a few ways to play this. One of the most obvious ways is you kind of win the shrine. And there's a few ways you can do that. One is you just kind of zone off the other team. And the other is just killing minions. That could be like a poke type thing, or like as simple as like Ragnaros just like using his heroic, or like Alex Straza using dragon or something like that. The zoning would be more like you know, kind of have some like a Joe or a Blaze or something kind of like sitting in front, and like, you know, and maybe like a Chromie kind of just like zoning off the enemy team, like unable to make them, you know, come to the shrine. You need something that clears the shrines, so something that does a lot of shrine damage. You know, there's always like the historic like Kerrigan and Hogger, obviously, probably the best at it. I'm surprised they let it up again. Okay, there's Diva, also a good shrine clear.
Yeah, so we see, actually, I think pretty much the same bans coming out from both teams, so it's probably just picks that they're uncomfortable with seeing, or maybe they're target bans that they know. But we do see the Sonya come out as well, so double bruiser game again here.
You know, good. Okay. Sonya Diva is pretty strong shrine clear. Hogger is really good shrine clear. We're gonna have to see where this goes the rest of the comp.
Yeah, I don't think they're going into Cho'Gall again, that's for sure.
The wait is
Yeah,
over.
Cassia, Stukov. Okay. I like that rotation actually. Cassia is gonna allow you to do some damage to that front line. Stukov, surprisingly, can be good into Diva if you can one you know, kind of strategy is to shove the Diva mech out, and then you kill the Diva pilot, baby Diva.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the Stukov pick, just because I know that Diva and Sonya have really good dive capabilities. Kind of worried for his life, but really interested to see how Fancy Flightless Fowl wants to round out this draft with their next two picks. Are they going to be more kind of passive, like just clear the shrine, or are they going to kind of be like more, okay, we're going to dive you and we're going to end you?
Oh my lord, what the hell is this?
Alex Straza, they're pulling out. Bro, I have been begging to see an Alex Straza game. I have been asking my team, please play Alex, man. And we finally
FFF is going for this triple bruiser, but this is specifically a total shrine clear. They're going for total shrine clear comp right here. It's not just random completely, I think. It's, we want to win the shrine every single time.
Right, yeah. I think, like, with triple bruiser, you have the lane covered, you have the mercs covered, and Alex Straza just helps the shrine and dragon, everything like that. We see a Nubarak and Orphea picked up. What do you think about that random task?
I'm not sure how much I like a Nubarak in this comp. because they're like,
Yeah, what do they kill? Right? Like, triple bruiser, what do you kill? Like, Unibrak double stuns, Hogger.
I actually would have liked to see May.
They did ban it out after the cast.
May, oh yeah, that was smart of them.
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
mean,
at
like,
this now.
they die, like, you can't dive in is the problem, right? As a Nubrak, or else you kind of get eaten alive, really.
Yeah,
and if
I
you play
mean, there's
passive as a Nubrak, right? Like, you know, you gotta peel for Orphea and Cassia, you know, against the Sonya and Diva who kind of just walk in and will Shrek your backline if you're not careful.
so Murden is an argument I would make that would be good here, but I think Murden is just one of his worst maps. So, there's the Joe. Could help with the wave clear a little bit.
Honestly, I would have preferred Joe here over Nubrak, just because a Nubrak here, if he dives, he's going to get melted by Tychus, melted by Leoric, and he's gonna leave his entire backline unprotected. Hogger does not have peel. But anyway, we are going into game number 2 here. On the side of Fancy Flightless Fowls, we have Blood Knight on the Sonya, we have Alfie, the captain, on Tychus, we have Herbatronic on Diva, we have Gingy Boy on the Leoric, and we have Final Stand rocking the Alexstrasza. Do you want to rock?
And the left side, we have Phoenix Rising Esports, mean one. Reb on Cassia, Aragona, Aragonas. There you go.
Aragonas,
on the new
yeah.
brag. Carp DM on Stukov, AoE rules on Orphea, and the Pie Maker on Hugger. I'm trying to think of what tanks that I would have picked here.
A lot of
Leo.
pictures after the Leoric with the excellent Hogger stone using his trait very well there. So Nubrak's actually going to dive in here and try to make something else happen. Cassie getting really low from the Tychus, though, almost falls. Orphea going directly in, taking down that Cassia. I'll be honest, I underestimated the Orphea play, man, the Orphea pick, but they're really able to make it work right now.
They both did a lot. The Cassia and Orphea did a lot of damage, but that's also the result of the Sonya kind of splitting off to the bottom right away. And Phoenix Rising Esports, I don't know whether they saw it intentionally or not, punished them really hard by fighting a 5-on-4.
Yeah, so Sonya not being there and Fancy Flightless Fowls and going that deep into the wave was definitely a mistake there.
Yeah, when one of your people splits off like that, you gotta sit back and let that wave come to the tower.
So Nubrak does get spotted out here. Yeah, he is able to escape here. And we see both teams kind of just collecting the camps, doing stuff as usual. Interestingly enough, Cassia did go for charged strikes at level 1 instead of the...
I love AA. I'm a fan of AA build.
I think with the
when it's valuable.
Alexstrasza, it makes a lot of sense, you know?
I think AA build still does comparable, if not more damage than Q build, but I can understand the logic behind Q build, especially with so many like tanks and like random characters that like have blinds. Is kind of I think the logic. Like May has blinds and Joe has blinds, but none of them have it here. Stukov has the armor, you know, has the physical armor, so that's kind of a pick you don't really want to pick Q build into.
That is true. Orphea also opting for the what's it called? The ancestral strength build, or trait builds, and that is relying a lot on auto attacks. And they, like you said, there's no blinds coming out the side of Anti-Flightless Fowls. Cassie looking in a little bit of trouble here. Looks like she's gonna be fine though. Engage too far. Stukov's here.
Nubrak's scatting this. Oh.
Yeah, Nubrak's
That's camp done.
Sonya there.
They're not starting on a camp though, which surprises me, because Hogger could have done this camp in like 5 seconds, but maybe he'll do it in 5 seconds for now.
He's looking for it. I think. Oh wow, we see an excellent engage here. He is able to live though. He pops the tree, pops the silence. Tychus does fall from the Leoric dive, and Orphea coming in. Wow, the counter engage from the mid lane. That was impressive.
It's a big, it's a big cooldown. Hogger, unfortunately didn't, you know, get the camp out too quickly, but with that kill, that means that they're going to just be able to kind of get this for free.
D.Va does push them this up a little bit, so Hogger's going to be a little bit preoccupied dealing with that. It actually might be a 4v5 right here. Actually, Leork is playing on the floor, so it's going to be right now, but,
I think they're going to give this. It'd be pretty hard to contest this.
they are, Somebody's posturing pretty aggressively here in the back line. D.Va does have a pop mech to allow some escape though.
That's 10 minions right there.
Bottles down, like, they're looking to try to fight this as best they can. Dragon Form does pop out. This is the thing that they drafted for, the Alex Jurassic combo. Big silence, big silence.
Yeah, Stukov is going to get a lot of value into like all that melee too.
I'm surprised that Fancy Flightless Fowls is losing so much health in these fights, actually. The Alex Strauss, you'd expect them to be able to be topped off, but the damage...
I mean, the Alex Straza is doing a lot of healing. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's kind of the other thing about this comp that I don't understand is they go to this triple bruiser comp that doesn't have very much lockdown, and they go to this Tychus, right? And so there's not going to be a lot of opportunities for him to just kind of sit there and attack someone if the other team doesn't like want them to. Would have been better. I think was Chromie banned?
Chromie was banned, yes.
Having like a more hyper carry-ish type character probably would be better in this scenario for them. Just like someone like that's actually kind of like what I like about like a big melee comp is like you just have to get in front of this wall for this high damage character.
Yeah, that's true. You know, but like we saw last game, Flightless Fowl, they, you know, they were losing in the early game, but they came back in the late game and won the snake. Impact is going to be hard here. Alpha taking lots of damage on the Tychus. Leork actually does fall, standing in the middle of the team there. Not usually the best place to be. The camp does go over to the Phoenix Rising Esports. They get a little bit of bot push here with the Newbrack and Orphea, but they have the two camps here coming out. Cassia and Sukov are coming to try to push it and help the initiative.
Yeah, that was a 5-on-4, I believe. The D.Va was still top lane. D.Va was actually did get a pretty good push, it looks like top, but I think overall Phoenix Rising probably came out a little bit on top of that. Yeah, they're gonna get the mid fort.
Level 10 mid fort for Phoenix Rising Esports. The top wall is gone though. So I will give props to D.Va for that. But
Oh. Yeah. D.Va pushes really hard.
Oh wow, we see some really interesting ultimate abilities here. Okay, call now. We have Odin, Commander Near Odin on Tychus. We have March of the Black King on Tychus. Micro Missiles on Beef Extra Damage, Wrath of the Berserker on Sonya. Lightfinder on Alex Ross. All Lighting on Cassia. Swipe on Sukov. You see the Giga Lightfinder saving Sonya's life right there. Eternal Feast on Orphea and Shockwave coming on.
So March of the Black King kind of makes sense here because when you have a team that kind of is a little bit more aggressive, the Entomb is going to get less value, right? Because
I agree, yeah.
They're up in your face. And they have so much. Actually, they don't have so much melee. I was thinking the other team. So yeah, it kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah, they don't have like Tychus is good for singling out a target, but he's not like bursty, you know. And Entomb, you want to kind of like burst people down. I really like the March here. I think if he's going to get targeted, he might as well deal some damage and heal a lot. You know, heals for 12% of his max HP. These fights are so clustery anyway, you know. Yeah, they traded one for nothing there, so we'll see how it goes. They are sacrificing doing their camp for the bottom issue. D.Va's is going to scope it out so he shouldn't do anything. Hogger taking their camp as well. Sonya taking their camp.
They're just giving, it looks like.
You see a rotation starting to come out here by Fancy Flightless Fowls. They're trying to stall their backs and hopefully enough time for D.Va and Tychus to come in here. All Lightning does come out here. some minor damage. Micro Missile's gonna take out the Anubarak. Max range Micro Missiles. The big March the Black King healing up the full Lifebinder also used here. And that is Swipe having to be used as well, trying to get some damage. And New York is close to falling. Gets saved by the Alexstrasza. Diva still has Vaughn here. There it is. Not for the disengage.
That's such an interesting interaction. So yeah.
Wow. I think they overstayed their welcome just a little bit, and Anubarak got punished, and that kind of set off a chain reaction for
Yeah. And they're holding the 39. Looks like that they're gonna let Sonya push in a little bit. That's actually a pretty smart move.
Yeah, stalling the rotation is really smart from the side of Fowls. Getting a little bit more Sonya value here. See a good rotation up here to stall this rotation so Sonya can get out here and start the OBJ. Oh, she was on the OBJ. Wait, wow, I didn't even notice that. They must have started it last fight or something like that. Did you notice that, Grandpass?
The Sonya did what?
The objective.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did a little bit.
Okay, so it looks like Diva's going to be split hogger. We see this strong push coming out here. Punisher jumps the wall here. Great pull by the side of the defense. Able to get that damage in. Front wall does fall, but looks like nothing else is going to be consistent here.
Yep. Pretty even right now. It's actually like pretty even overall. They obviously have the keep wall. Otherwise, it's about even-ish. It's about even right now.
Yeah, I will say, you know, the fights are slightly going in the favor of Fancy Flightless Fowls right now, even though the Phoenix Esports has more kills. You know, what do you think is the key for each of these teams winning the team fight?
I think actually just like setting up Earth first around the shrines is actually the key for both teams. Honestly, so Hogger gets that infinite loop. That's kind of the biggest thing that he's gonna do. And then, you know, the other team kind of setting up with the Dragon, with Sonya, with Mech Bomb.
Yeah, I think
That'll.
oh wow,
That'll
nice.
be.
Big fight. Cassia is getting targeted. Will she get a heal? Survive? It's so close. Oh, just barely. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're seeing the value, the healing value of March the Black King, and Lifebinder has gotten some insane value here too. It looks like they're doing a really good job of letting one of the bruisers tank most of the damage, and then Lifebinder just gets insane value. Shockwave goes to Tychus. This is Tychus into Alexstrasza. Lifebinder don't pop out. Tychus is going to be healed up early. They were kicking a little bit of damage here in the back line. Is able to escape just fine.
And I'm actually. So, does Lifebinder get. So I remember there was a period of time where Lifebinder was interrupted by Cocoon, but I guess that doesn't happen anymore, right?
I'm not sure, actually. That's a good question. If that is the case, maybe a threat should be trying to utilize that. Tychus gets really low, they dive before it. They get it.
Good,
Yeah,
good follow-up.
Fancy Flightless Fowls, they were split off doing this camp here. They get the bot fort, so that's 2 forts on the side of Phoenix Rising Esports versus 1.
You know, and I must say that both these teams are making really good plays to get picks and find value somewhere in the map. So good job to both teams.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Both these teams have been playing excellently. Game 1 and Game 2. Like, this is such an even fight coming out from both teams. They're both trying to figure out what their strategies are in these team fights and what they can capitalize on. You know, and as we see the next shrine coming out, I think we're going to have another big team fight coming over here.
Yep, and it looks like I think that that camp's gonna de-push that lane now. But it looks like FFF's gonna get on this shrine first.
Yeah. So
Neck bomb is not quite up yet, but
big advantage getting on the play first here. They start decking this over the Leor. Deep gets some Orchid does get caught out and fall. Hogger's going to fall next here. Sonya's going to try to get targeted, but the Lifefinder comes out from the Alexstrasza. Kills on the Nubrak, kills on the Cassia. And Ramtask, we see the power of this shrine control by the Alexstrasza. We see the power of getting onto the shrine first. That was just a really dominant fight. They tried to engage on the Leoric and the Sonya there and dive all in with the Stukov and Olympia going melee range, but they were just immediately punished by the triple bruiser just charging Rado.
I feel like this Lifefinder is getting like a lot of value, a lot more than one would expect.
I agree, yeah. Normally people like to go the cleansing, fire, or the other ultimate kind of.
I actually think that it would still be more healing here, possibly, because you have such a beefy front line that wants to engage hard, but you know, can't deny that the Lifefinder hasn't gotten like a ton of value.
Yeah, Lifefinder's been, Phoenix Esports doing a good job of focusing one target and trying to burst it down, but Lifefinder just counters that. And we see the engage here, Nubrak did escape. A lot of damage coming out on this keep here. And they're going to slow push this very smartly. Just work to take the keep if they can. They do have Lethal Bomb if they want to over-engage here. But looks like they're just going to try to retreat here. Might have stayed a little bit longer. The Orc is kind of caught out here. They might just leave him for dead here, honestly, at this point. Yeah. Unfortunate, but they don't want to lose the level 20 lead I think they're about to get. I think that was probably what they were thinking with not trying to get that bottom keep.
Yeah.
Like,
at that point, I probably would have tried to get it.
Honestly,
Leo maybe suicide, maybe Leo suicides there a little bit. You know, where does he go here? So interestingly, so what I find interesting actually is he went for March, but went auto tech build.
Yeah, I mean it's I think it could work. He did.
Well, I mean,
oh, he goes protected here. That's interesting. I would have expected to see the March ult upgrade, but it's not. I'm really surprised that Tychus did not pop Odin to or during the push. I don't think it was off.
Did he have it up?
I'm pretty sure he had it up. I could be wrong about that, but you know, that keeps still up. Katas are slightly pushing, but not hardcore pushing right now, so they're gonna have that up for a little bit. But this is a 19-20 fight. It looks they're probably gonna get this 40 here. You know, if they stay, they're just gonna get collapsed on.
I think they can defend it a little bit here. You have to keep in mind, their team's all melee, so it's hard for them to siege into it.
That is true. Nubrak is posturing here. No one does scout him. Nubrak dies on the Alexstrasza. Double stun. Lifefinder comes out early here. They are a little bit separated. Goes out Hans. Goes out the Diva. Protected March comes here. The Earth is fucking wrong. Dragon Form is popped here. Hogger tries to dive a little too deep and falls. Diva still has bomb here for this engagement. But looks like they're just going to be trading 1-1 here.
Yep.
And Dragon Form pops down. Okay, is going on by the Sonya. Is it when we save by the swipe? Sonya does get deleted here. And they're still continuing this. They're still trying to run it down. Nubrak is going a little bit deep against this Tychus, though. Does end up losing his life for it. And they're still trying here. Cassia overengages with the Fed. Bomb comes out here. He's trying to push into them. And their attention gets split back onto the Orphea here as...
And Leo's go.
Leva's up. Leoric is up now, yeah. Wow, they over-engaged. They've been off of way too much there. And now they're going to pay. Stukov's dead. Orphea is going to fall pretty soon here as well. And that is going to be a free shine and most likely a free keep inside of Fancy Flightless Fowl.
That's possibly game.
Yeah, I think they're just dead here.
Sonya's not here. I don't know, it's iffy. Cassia can 1v5 them, so they have to be careful.
They do have Lifefinder up, so they should be okay here. Sonya responds from a grab. Yeah, there's the Lifefinder coming out of the to sustain him. So much health. you said, Cassia can do the 1v more here, though. Hogger taking a lot of damage from that Tychus. Will keep his life, though. Bomb is up here. Odin actually off cooldown now, and he's going to start sieging away. Cassie's going to get a little bit focused here, and is going to end up losing her life. Anubrak dives in really deep here. Is going to get chased a bit, but it looks like they're just going to start focusing here back over here.
Sonya's doing the shrine right now, looks like.
I see. That might be a little troll, but oh wow, I think that's gonna be the mistake. They get a Cocoon on Tychus here, Swipe comes out with misses. Nubrak going to re-engage. This is a 4v4 here. This is the best fight PR is going to get here. Alcatraz are really low. Swipe coming back in to help them disengage. Hogwild coming out in the backline here. Doesn't do too much damage. They're trying to chase here. Sony's still capping the shrine right now. Hogwild misses, doesn't get the rebounds he wants, and Greg dives really deep, tries to get a stun onto D.Va here, but there's not really a follow-up from the team because they're not close enough there. Greg starts to disengage, Leor and Tychus start to re-engage. They dove a little bit too deep, Orpheus way out of position, she's casting all of her positions to save. Duke up with a great silence, trying to get onto Tychus. Gets a nice slap onto the Tychus there, and he falls. Swipe comes out, helping Orpheus disengage. And they're focusing D.Va. Punisher still pushing mid here. We gotta look out for the Sonya here, slamming into the backline with the slam build. Doing lots of damage to that Indirect, and Stukov. Morpheo, meanwhile, gets the kill on the Island Stress. That is all the healing down. Bjorn falls too, Sonya falls
You know
too,
what?
and that is the reverse team fight sweep.
I wonder if they try to end here. I think that's the play.
I think so too. I think so too. It's
They have Beatles.
They do have Beatles, and I think capping the shrine. It's actually close. We have D.Va in the mid lane, in mech pilot form pushing on. The core for
But the Arc's gonna come back.
Yeah, it's at half.
Oh man, it's gonna be really close. They're gonna be really close.
This is a fight of the 80s right here. It is a core race right now. With 4 on the side for Phoenix Rising Esports attacking, with Hogger trying to defend, and we have this up right now. Cocoon on the Tychus while he's Odin. That is big. They need to push this core right now. D.Va is slamming on the core with the Punisher, and it is so close right now. And Phoenix Rising Esports loses their core as Fancy's Flightless Fowl does secure the win here. That was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Big core rush. You know, I think Fancy Flightless Fowls could have ended if they just sent Sonya bot lane, in all honesty. I think sending her to the Punisher was a little bit silly, but they ended up getting the recovery with D.Va pushing.
Yeah, if they wanted to send Sonya to the shrine, they should have gotten the mid keep down, and then the Punisher would end. That's one way you could do it. But I do think that like them trying to end with the Sonya doing it kind of didn't make as much sense as it should. Like, you know, one would think. The last fight was insane. So what happened? They go in and they Phoenix Rising Esports dive someone, and the life binder comes out. They immediately switch targets, get someone. I think the Hogger kind of ran too deep and he died. Then there was all kinds of craziness, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but lots of people died there.
Yeah, and we're going to see that is going to be a 2-0 for Fancy Flightless Fowl. GG, those were excellent games coming out here.
Thank you.
Hello, Alfie, Gingy Boy. How are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling about your matches?
Fantastic,
Feeling
honestly.
pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Those were some exciting games to watch, let me tell you.
Yeah, they were absolutely back and forth. PRE played really well, even better than the last time they played with us, and they were already solid then, so that was very good games from them too.
Yeah, we were surprised by the Cho'Gall comp and then the Triple Bruiser comp, but you guys made it work. Like in the first game, how did you guys feel about going into the first game? Because they did have that lockdown, and it looked like they were doing the play where they, you know, get on the backline really well, cocoon the Cho'Gall. How did you guys feel about that?
So for that one, it's mostly getting to the late game. Like, we were getting pushed in early, losing buildings. It's kind of expected. We have no counter pressure and a late game comp. late game, all we had to do is get to level 20 and make sure if we keep the backline alive for that initial engage, we win the fight every time. Which you saw when they dove the backline, the Gus kept Greymane and Mouth out of the fight, and then we just like survived and killed them all from there.
Right. Yeah. One of the I think one of the greatest plays we saw was at that boss at level 20. Sonya leaped onto, I believe it was Falstad and Shogal, and Anduin just whoop, leap of faith, yeeted the Falstad out, and he was perfectly okay for the rest of the fight.
Yep, and then the Gus came out right after, kept them from there, and then we just Cho'Gall in a Sonya crater. Cho'Gall stuck it with us. It's not the other way around. Sorry, she's stuck with us. Let's go.
And then so for
Yeah,
game...
just-
Oh yeah, sorry. Continue. Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's just when they leaped in on us, they pulled the Falstad and we just molten blocked, and Gall can still cast his abilities, and after 16 and 20 he just gets stuns out like crazy.
That's true. Yeah, like we saw even Greymane opted to go for the throat to try to just secure battleline kills instead of going cursed bullet there too. So you know, it was definitely a struggle to see, like, because they got some fights where they wanted to hit the backline and they deleted and they did really well, but then other fights they just weren't quite able to get there. So GG's, that was a great game one. For game number two, we saw Triple Bruiser Alex Straza coming out. Now, Alex Straza, you don't normally see her in the meta right now, so please tell me what was y'all's thinking behind these drafts and everything like that. I'm super curious.
Well, first off, I want to say Alex Straza has a 100% win rate in Heroic, and 3 of those games are from us. 3 of 4,
Nice.
but
You know. I mean, it's a lot stronger than people realize because it mitigates not having a front line. Because like all 3 of them are either really survivable, have good escapes, and the Alex is such a good point control healer, with such an insane amount of burst during those long fights. Even then, so it's good mobility, good wave clear, and it just kept me alive. And I didn't even do top damage. I was just kind of chilling in the back, just trying not to die most of the time. So it works out pretty well, and it's good, very good shrine control with all the bruisers.
Yeah, we noticed like with the Diva Bomb and like just triple bruisers. As soon as like, you know, we saw like a Nubrak dive, Orphea coming in, Stukov coming in, like that's when you guys jumped on and started trying to fight. But there were some really close fights in game number 2, and a lot of chasing around the map. I was surprised. How'd you guys feel about? What was comms like when you were in the game? Like, what were you guys thinking?
So we were getting decent engages, but we were also underestimating the Orphea damage. So late game we kind of just let it kill us, unfortunately, and we almost threw the game. But thankfully we had Punisher free pushing, and our Diva was still alive. Realistically, if we don't like immediately go for the Orphea or CC her to death, like they had a really good team fight comp too, so. It was really back and forth. They played very well there.
Yeah, I was not expecting Orphea to do that much damage. She did 111,000 damage, and Cassia actually was very close too with 105,000 damage. You know, we were expecting coming into the draft that the Triple Bruiser would kind of win out because it was just too much to sustain, too much to deal with. But those 2 picks, I was surprised how much damage they pumped out, especially in the mid and late game.
And Orphea's really good into heavy frontline teams just because she just like lives off chomp, so it's a very counter pick to what we're doing. Absolutely.
And then one last question I wanted to ask was about the Leoric pick, and specifically the March. What was the thinking behind the March? That's a heroic we don't get to see too often.
So the idea was main tank Leoric, and when you're going main tank Leoric, March is actually a decent pick with it. And they had no good Entomb targets, mostly because we don't have any like actual AoE damage to kill a big Entomb. And they have a Nubrak who can escape, Orphea who can escape, Hogger who can escape, and Stukov who can just place a silence inside of our own Entomb and fuck us over. So or swipe. So Entomb gets no value into their team. And so we went with March because it gives us more point control as well, where if we have that bomb, we have the Sonya, we just have so much to use on the point, and that just is another thing where I can just march through there, get some last minions if needed. And it honestly helped in a few team fights where me and BK on Sonya went in, and he would leap, and I just march on top of them, and we dumpster who was ever there.
Wow. And okay, I'm personally curious just because I don't get to see this build, so when I get to see it, it's really a treat. What was the thinking over Shroud of the Dead King versus the Black March upgrade?
I didn't go drain build. So the drain on 20 wouldn't be as good because this is the Shroud of the Dead King was also really good into how much burst they had and how many times they were using it on me. And it honestly saved me a good 4 or 5 times late game.
Yeah, we noticed that they would focus one of your bruisers, either Leoric or Sony or something, and then something we commented on was the immediate life binder that would come out and just res someone back like 75% of their health, even on Tychus sometimes like that. So it was,
Yeah.
we were surprised. It was really a treat to watch, seeing like someone's health bar jump back up, and it was an awesome game.
I should have definitely died on that Tychus, but that life binder and the things were just a little clutch. So
So
yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was gonna say, as kind of a last thing, do you guys have any shout-outs or things like that you guys want to give?
I mean, I brought him into the interview right here. This is a Gingy man right here, the Cho'Gall driver. Every time he plays Cho'Gall, I'm just in it for the ride. And he just hard carries on me, so I take that. And also, Final, our sub today, he played really well, and he came in short notice because our normal healer had to sit out. So those would be my 2 shoutouts for the day.
Awesome, yeah. Well, thank you so much, you and Gigi, for coming in here and having this interview with us. And GG's, and good luck for your future games. Thank you so much.
Thank
you
you,
very
and thank you
much.
for casting.
Absolutely, we appreciate all the casts we can get.
Thank you so much, guys. It was a pleasure to cast these games tonight.
All right, guys, have a
Alright,
good
we'll
one.
see ya.
GG.
You guys have a
See
good
you
night.
around.
All right, GG,
Thank you,
see
thank
you
you.
guys. Alrighty, chat. So that was the game. Fancy Flightless Fowl coming in 2-0 against Phoenix Rising Esports. Yeah, that was an awesome match. I mean, it was back and forth. It wasn't like it was completely one-sided either. I think Phoenix Rising
No,
Esports
definitely not.
They brought everything they had, and it really showed. Like they, early on some of these games, it looked really dominant. It was just some mistakes in the mid and late game that costed them the games.
Unfortunately, that can happen in the HOTS these days, but yeah, one team executed the late game a little bit better in both games, I think, and they came out with a victory.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any other? I'm trying to think out of the stream. I mean, so those are the games. What would you say, random task, about these games tonight?
Great games. Both teams should be happy. Both teams probably want to go look at, some of the things they could fix up. I guess that's kind of every game. Unless you get like a 20-0 KDA and end in 6 minutes,
Yeah,
It's
these
always
games
something
were,
you.
I
Yeah,
agree.
they
These games were super back and forth. Like that last game, it was 13 kills to 12, and Phoenix Rising Esports had more kills too. Like they were definitely in it, and they were fighting tooth and nail. Like none of these games that we saw tonight were one-sided. Like it was back and forth, and I think that deserves some replay analysis from these teams to kind of figure out where went wrong and how they could have turned those leads faster and things like that. But overall, great heroic division games that we saw tonight. Really awesome stuff.
Yep. I agree.
And random task, do you have anything else you want to say before we close out the stream or anything like that?
Well,
Any shout outs or I don't know,
games?
things like that?
No. Thanks for letting me cast. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, I
Hopefully, I was
appreciate.
good here.
Yeah, no, you were awesome. I really appreciate you coming on here last minute and helping me out. you know, for kind of like the higher div games, I would definitely like, you know, a secondary caster just kind of help me fill the void and you know, give the high level commentary that these games deserve.
Well, hopefully I was high enough, but you know,
You were an awesome co-caster. Thank you so much, man.
thank you for having me again.
All right.
That's all I have
And
to
with
say.
that, I think we are going to close out the stream. Thank you so much to everyone who came, and we really appreciate you coming out here to support your teams and everything like that. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Hope you have a good night.
Good night, everyone.